Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Lauren, and I'm about to guide you through a chair yoga class. I recently started teaching chair yoga about twice a week, like 3 months ago or so. And I really enjoy not only teaching it, but I feel like it is the class that I physically benefit from the most. Not because it's just a little easier in class to do everything with the students when we're all seated. Uh, but just because in a chair yoga class, it is so gentle, and at least in the way I teach it, I make sure that we're moving sort of everything and we have opportunities in a chair class that we maybe don't elsewhere. And I just personally have been physically feeling really good. And I can't help but think it's from being able to participate in chair yoga as much as I've been able to. And so I think that it's just a good reminder that there is a lot of power in sort of pulling back, and a lot to be gained when we slow down, and not everything needs to be doing the most all the time. So I just really want to share all of what I've been doing for myself, and I've been teaching it to people who really would not be able to take a traditional yoga class elsewhere. So it's been really neat, and so I just want to share that with you, even if you can move through all the things. It's really nice to slow down every once in a while. So all you'll need is a chair. I like um, where I teach it, we teach with folding chairs. You can use anything. I kind of like something without arms to it. You use what you got. Okay, so just take a seat in the chair, sit comfortably, and at the beginning and at the end of the practice, not just in chair yoga, but in any class, kind of want to be more or less symmetrical. And so chair yoga, though, or sitting in a chair, is often where people want to cross at the ankles or interlace their fingers. They want to do something asymmetrical. So set yourself up in a way that feels as symmetrical as you can be, and let your seat really fall heavy in the chair. And reach the crown of your head up. Sit up tall, but then use the back of the chair. So keep the length in the spine, but just lean back. So you are resting on the chair, but there's still a lift in the chest. Softness in the shoulders. Relax the arms. Turn your attention inward. Notice where your mind goes. Notice the thoughts that come up. Maybe just acknowledge those thoughts and think, I'll come back to you later. I'm just setting you down for a moment. It's time for yoga. So set those thoughts down and draw your attention to your breath. And just notice your breath. Notice the ease at which you breathe. Notice how smooth and seamless your breath is. Notice how the breath is uninterrupted. And you can stay here, feeling, observing, experiencing your natural breath. Or maybe you start to move through Samavriti. Samavriti translates to equal breathing. And let's move through the 4-part version. So this is often referred to as square breathing. All 4 parts of the breath are equal in length, just like all 4 parts of a square are equal in length. It might help to visualize tracing a square as you're breathing. So we will be holding the breath for a moment or two. It's a perfectly safe practice unless you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant. If that's the case, skip this practice. Otherwise, we'll move through Samavriti, equal breathing, the 4-count breath. So to begin, exhale completely. And then inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, return back to your natural breath. And just notice how you feel. Recognizing there are no right or wrong answers, just notice how you feel. And now slowly join your hands together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, palms together, thumbs softly resting on the collarbones. So when we place our hands in Anjali Mudra, we're cultivating the energy of the heart chakra, the energy center that lies in the heart center. It possesses the energy of love and kindness and compassion, not just towards others, but towards yourself. And so cultivating the energy of that heart center, maybe that inspires you to set an intention for your practice. Think about a positive word or phrase and silently and slowly repeat it to allow it to settle in your heart. And then slowly draw your chin in towards your chest, bowing reverently at your intention that you've set for yourself. And then slowly flutter the eyelids open so you're looking down at your fingers. You can release your hands and slowly lift your head. All right, let's get moving. We're going to stay seated for a little bit. So let's just start all the way at the bottom, right from where you're sitting. Just lift your feet up and let's point and flex the feet. So we're just going to, again, sort of move everywhere. So point and flex the feet, point and flex. Really strongly do each movement, one more of each. And then rotate, pick one direction, just rotate all the way around. Think about keeping the calf and the shin still, rotating just at the ankle so the foot is the only thing that's moving. Do one more in this direction. And then reverse. Again, think about keeping the shin still, isolating the ankle. Large movements here through the foot and ankle. One more. Okay, and then keep the heel and the ankle still. Spread your toes wide away from each other, and then crunch your toes in tight, like you're making a fist with your foot. So reach your toes out wide, crunch them in tight. Couple more like this. Again, isolating the toes. Think about keeping the heel and ankle still. Just get the toes moving. One more of each. Okay, and then you can relax the feet. All right, let's move a little bit through the arms. So we went from the toes, let's go to the fingers. So bend your right elbow, the palm will be facing up towards the ceiling, fingertips pointing forward. Bend your elbow deeply so your hand is pretty close to the shoulder. You're gonna take your other fingers and just cross over. So you sort of got the fingers perpendicular to each other. And just using sort of the weight of your left arm into the right hand and just gravity to deepen the stretch. So you're not necessarily pushing your left hand in, it's just resting, and then just gravity is doing the rest. And so you'll feel this sort of through the hand, the wrist, maybe a little into the forearm. Let the shoulders relax. Let's take one more breath here. Okay, and then keep your hands in this position, your fingers crossed, but just start to lengthen the right arm, pushing the heel of the hand forward, lengthening the right arm. And then now you'll feel it a little bit more in the forearm, maybe up into the elbow, less in the hand, more in the arm. So now it's like you're trying to pull very gently your right fingertips back towards yourself, back towards your belly. So getting a little bit more into the arm. Again, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Let's take one more breath here. Okay, and then slowly release. And then you can just roll the right wrist around, maybe wiggle the fingers. Okay, and then we'll switch sides. So you're going to bend your left elbow, palm of the hand facing the ceiling, fingertips forward, deeply bend the elbow, because we're going to straighten it in a moment. So deeply bend it here, and then cross fingertips on sort of up tops of fingertips. So it's sort of like making the letter T. And then just allow the right arm to feel heavy, so it just gradually and very gently pulls it down. So you're not pushing, you're not forcing. Again, a lot of this stuff is really gentle, but really can be impactful because it is kind of getting into things we don't do very often. So just let the weight of your right arm feel heavy. Feel that stretch to the left arm. One more breath. Okay, then we keep the hands as they are. Just slowly start to lengthen the left arm, pushing the heel of your hand forward, lengthening the arm. And now it's like you're drawing your right fingertips back towards you. I'm sorry, your left, I guess all your fingertips, right? But you're kind of gently pulling your fingertips back towards your body, back towards your belly. You'll feel it a little bit more in the forearm and the arm. I still feel it in the hand, but just lengthening. You'll feel it in a few more spaces. Soften shoulders. Take a deep breath. Okay, and then slowly release. Again, with that left arm, you can wiggle, roll, sort of release after that. Okay. All right, we're going to do one more thing seated. Well, a couple more things seated, but one more body part. Scoot forward just a little bit so your feet are definitely flat on the floor. I know when I sit back, my feet they're not really that grounded. I'm pretty short. So feet flat on the floor. You can really push your heels into the ground, but you're soft through the toes. Let your shoulders relax, arms relax, sit up tall. We're going to move through the spine. So just like we do seated on the mat, we're going to do it seated in the chair. So inhale as you draw the belly forward, lift your chest, lift your heart, look up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, draw your ribs back, your chin to your chest, look down towards your lap. Inhale, draw your belly forward. Point your belly button down at your thighs as you lift your chest up and maybe even look up at the ceiling. And then exhale, tuck your tailbone, point your belly button towards your face, your chin to your chest. Feel the length in the back side. Inhale, draw the belly forward, maybe look up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, ribs back, chin to the chest. So we're just doing a seated cat and cow. Moving the whole length of the spine. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Now you can add the arms if you'd like. Either way, shoulders are relaxed, but maybe as you inhale and draw the heart forward, you reach the arms out. Think about stretching from wrist to wrist. Really push the heart forward. And then exhale, draw the ribs back, chin to the chest, and reach your arms forward like you're wrapping your arms around a big beach ball. Inhale, push the heart forward. Think about stretching from wrist to wrist along the front side of the body. And then exhale, reach the arms forward. Think about separating the shoulder blades. Can you expand the back side? We'll do a couple more just like this. Now, if you're moving the arms, well, no matter if you're moving them or not, but relax the shoulders. They're still away from the ears. The arms might be coming forward and back, but that doesn't mean they're coming up. All right, let's do one more of each. Move the whole length of the spine. Move with the breath. All right, and then we're going to return back to the center. We're just going to bring the hands back down onto the lap. All right, reach the crown of the head up, roll the shoulders down and back. Keep the right hand where it's at. It can be on the thigh. It can just release. Maybe it's on the chair. But inhale, reach left fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale as you reach up and over, sweeping fingertips over. We're going to move with the breath. Inhale, switch out the arms. Exhale, right fingertips reach. Inhale, switch out the arms. Return to the center. Exhale, reach. All right, so spinal movements opening laterally. Keep your seat grounded on the chair. Make sure that you're not lifting one sit bone or one hip up and away from the chair, that you're keeping your seat a strong anchor. Now, maybe you keep one arm supporting you, kind of pushing down into the hand, or maybe you have both arms up and you reach up and over and then allow both arms to come up. But even if the arms are up, shoulders are relaxed away from the ears, soften through the throat, neck, and jaw. Let's do just one more each side. Keep pushing the tailbone down, dropping the heels down. Return back to the center. Inhale, lengthen up, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, drop the arms, turn your chest over to the right. We're going to move with the breath. Inhale, lengthen up, fingertips reach to the sky. Exhale, drop the arms, rotate, turn your heart to the left. Continue on. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rotate, and you can release the arms and just keep them low if you'd rather. Or allow them to come up, but again, keep shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Keep the tailbone grounded, your sit bones glued to your chair, heels connected to the floor. And let's do one more each side. All right, inhale, return back to the center. Exhale, let the arms come all the way down. Good. All right, really firmly push the heels into the ground. You can do whatever you want with your arms, but push your heels down and inhale, rise up. All right. And now you're going to come so that you are facing the seat of your chair. So you might have to turn your chair around. When I teach chair yoga, I don't hesitate to make people move their chair around so that the chair is working for us. So you're going to be moving your chair a little bit. Okay. So you're facing the seat of the chair and you're sort of in front of the chair. All right. So take maybe a little step back. We don't want to be right forward in front of it. We're going to do a few half sun salutations here. So just like you can place your hands on blocks in a half forward fold or your shins or your thighs, you certainly can bring your hands onto the chair. So it's there, but we don't want to be right in front of it. All right. So feet hip distance, weight in your heels, stand up tall, roll the shoulders down and back, allowing the palms to face forward, kind of externally rotating. So the thumbs draw out. Reach the crown of the head up. Take a breath here. Tadasana, mountain pose. All right. And then inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Circle the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Now you can bring your hands onto the chair or not. Maybe you come into a traditional forward fold. We're going to stay for a couple breaths. So just letting the upper body surrender to gravity. Maybe you take some movement here, letting the torso sway, maybe shake in the head, yes and no. Maybe bending one knee, straightening the other. Take a couple moments here, 2 or 3 breaths. Just do what feels good. Forward fold, Uttanasana. All right, and then return back to a traditional forward fold. Weight in your heels. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine, crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, rounding through the upper body. Inhale, rise all the way up, circle the arms, lift your chest, lift your heart. Let's do that a couple more times. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Let's move with the breath. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, push the heels down, circle the arms, lift the chest. Let's do 2 more, half sun salutations. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up, push the heels down, make the legs do the work, circle the arms, lift the chest. 1 more, exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Circle the arms. Now we're going to fold forward and bring the hands onto the chair. So step forward a bit and bring the hands onto the chair, onto the seat of the chair. And you'll have to walk your feet forward a little bit. Okay, so here we're mimicking being in tabletop. So what's nice about this is you're not kneeling. You don't have the pressure of your knees onto the ground. And this might be more comfortable if you're using a chair that's got cushion. This might be more comfortable here, or I'm not really that picky. If you want to hold the edges of the chair, if that's more comfortable in your wrist, you do what feels good in your joints here. But set yourself up in a similar feeling to tabletop. You're going to probably have to bend your knees a little bit. And let's do some of those same spinal movements again, just a couple here. So inhale as you drop your belly down. Point your belly button at your thighs, the ribs to the floor, your chest forward. Look at the back of your chair, maybe looking over the back of the chair. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, point your belly button towards your face. Draw your ribs to the sky, your chin to your chest. Look at your belly button. Inhale, drop the belly. Pull the heart forward, look forward, take a back bend. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, ribs to the sky, chin to the chest, take the forward bend. Let's do just 2 more of each. Cat and cow here. Maybe a little more familiar feeling here. That same thing we did seated. It's the same movement. 1 more of each. All right, return back to the center. Let's do one more thing for our spine. Let's do a twist. This one more for our upper back. So you're going to keep your left hand where it's at. Right fingertips reach over to the right with the palm facing down. Inhale. Exhale, reach your right fingertips under your left armpit, turning your chest over to the left. We're going to move with the breath. Inhale as you reach right fingertips over to the right. Exhale, reach under the left armpit, reach over to the left. Keep going with the breath. Inhale, maybe reach your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, thread it through. And maybe you keep your neck in neutral and you keep looking down at the chair, or maybe you watch your right hand as it comes up and as it goes down. But let's do 3 more like this. Now notice this feeling through the upper back. And try to isolate your upper back, keeping the legs fairly still. All right, do one more just like this. And then when you're ready, just return that right hand back down onto the chair. And we'll swap it out. Pick up the left hand, reach left fingertips over to the left, palm facing down. Inhale. Exhale, reach under the right armpit, turn your chest to the right. Move with your breath. Inhale as you reach left fingertips to the left. Exhale, reach under the right armpit, reaching to the right. Now, maybe you reach your left fingertips up towards the ceiling and you stretch the chest and then take the rotation. Maybe you don't. Maybe you keep looking down at the seat of the chair to keep the neck in neutral, or maybe you watch your left hand as it moves and as it travels. But notice that this is a little bit more for the upper back as opposed to the twist we did when we were seated. One's not better, one's not worse, just 2 different intentions. Let's do about 2 more here. Move with your breath. One more just like this. And then when you're ready, you can return that left hand and return back to tabletop. Maybe roll out that wrist, give yourself a moment. Okay. All right, so from a tabletop, shift your weight back into your heels, soft bend in the knees. Inhale, circle the arms up, reach the fingertips up towards the sky, bring the palms together. Exhale, mountain pose, bring the hands to the heart, take a deep breath. Okay. All right. So now you're going to turn your chair around. So instead of being in front of it, you are behind it. So all I have to do is just sort of flip it around. I don't know your configuration and where you're at, but I want you to be behind the chair and I have all 4 of my legs of the chair on the mat. You just need at least these 2 that are closest to you. So if you don't have room or whatever, but we're not stepping that far back. Okay, so holding on to the back of the chair, you're going to step your right foot back. And we're setting up in like a crescent lunge stance. So each foot is in its own lane of traffic. All 10 toes are forward. Feet are hip distance. You know the deal. All right. So the left knee is bent. Push the left heel down. You can wiggle the left toes. We're going to focus on the back heel. So just using the chair for balance. You're not leaning forward. You're not dumping weight into it. Just using it for balance. We're going to lift the right heel up as high as it can possibly go. Really stretch the foot. And then push the heel down as low as it can go. We're going to keep going like that. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, push it all the way down. Inhale, lift it up, 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 up. Exhale, push it down. Push it all the way down. Whether it can touch the ground or not, push it in that direction. We're going to keep moving. I want you to really move through the foot, the ankle, feel it in the calf, maybe in the back of the knee. I want to focus here on the lower part of the leg. Do just a couple more. Keep the torso upright. Resist the urge to lean into the chair. We're just using it for balance. Maybe do one more. All right, and then we're going to keep the heel lifted. It doesn't have to be lifted all the way, but it is at least lifted a little bit. Bend the back knee, tuck the tailbone, feel the stretch in the front of the right hip. So you know this stretch, this hip flexor stretch. The left knee is bent, left heel is pushing down. You can work the left toes. Right toes are pushing down to lift the right heel, bend the right knee, tuck the tailbone, draw your ribs back. Okay, now, once you've got this stretch, you feel good in your footing, you can keep your hand on the chair. You can keep one hand, hands at the hips, hands at the heart. Arms up overhead is always the most challenging option. Maybe you take goalpost. You know your options, or maybe just hands on the chair. But focus on this hip flexor stretch for 2 more breaths, just like this. Lifting the chest, soften the shoulders. All right, and then bring the hands back to the chair if they're not there already. Push the left heel down, inhale, exhale, step forward. And then you can give yourself some time, sort of wiggle out, shake out, roll things out. I shouldn't say shake out. Don't shake things out. You can like kind of shake your hips. I guess that's okay. I'm not a fan of shaking like a hand or a foot, but you can kind of like shake your hips. I guess that's an okay place to shake. All right, so then we've got to do the second side. So feet closer to the chair, you're going to step the left foot back, feet hip distance, toes forward. All right, and then we're going to bend the right knee. Push the right heel down, you can wiggle right toes. Left leg is pretty straight. We're going to focus mostly on the foot and the ankle though. So lift the left heel up, 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 and drop it all the way down. We're just going to keep moving like that. So you're just using the chair for balance. You're not pushing. You're not letting your shoulders shrug. So soften through the arms and just move that left heel up and then all the way down. Do about 2 more, just like this. Keep pushing down into the right heel. Make sure those right toes can still wiggle. And then we're going to meet with the heel lifted. It doesn't have to be lifted all the way, but at least a little so that you can bend the left knee, tuck the tailbone, feel the hip flexor stretch. So right knee is still bent, right toes can wiggle. Left toes pushing down, lift the heel, bend the knee, tuck the tailbone, like you're drawing your ribs back, like you're going to do a cat pose, but you keep your chest lifted. It's sort of just the pelvic action of cat pose. And then once you feel solid in that hip stretch, you do what you want with your arms. You can keep holding onto the chair. Maybe you just have a finger. You just sort of test your balance. You sort of test the waters. Hands can be at the hips, hands at the heart. Again, arms up overhead is always a little more challenging. You've got lots of options. You take what feels right for you. Push the right heel down. Tuck the tailbone. 1 more breath. All right, and then bring the hands back onto the chair. Push the right heel down. Inhale. Exhale, step the left foot forward. All right, and then again, you can shake the hips and maybe wiggle and roll the ankles. Bop around through the knees. Okay. All right. So we're going to do one more thing here behind the chair. So you're going to hold on to the chair and you're going to walk your feet back, lower your chest down. This is sort of like a chair or wall version. You can do this with the palms on the wall of like down dog. So think about walking the feet back and letting your chest lower so that from wrists to hips, you're a straight line. Your upper body is a straight line. Think about down dog, right? You're a straight line. You make sort of a triangle with the floor. Here you're making a square with the floor. So it's the same sort of, I mean, you and I both know that a square and a triangle is not the same shape, but you get the idea that it's straight lines, all sort of even on all sides, right? Like it's the same idea. So it's like you're reaching your hips back towards the wall behind you and letting your arms lengthen forward. Maybe you're looking down at the ground, keeping the ears sort of in line with the arms, or maybe you drop your chin to your chest and like down dog, you're sort of looking at your knees or looking through your legs. You can pedal out the heels here, maybe bend one knee, kind of let the hips sway. But you sort of feel this lengthening here. Again, similar to down dog, but just different, right? We changed our relation to gravity. Things are not quite the same, but you can feel the similarities. Let's take one more breath here. All right. Now from here, we're going to bring the feet together. We're going to stay in this position, but bring your feet together. All right. Now shift your weight into your right foot. We're taking a balance pose. So shift your weight into your right, keeping your left toes on the ground. Just slide the left foot back. Just slide the left foot back, left toes stay on the ground for as long as they can, and then let the tip of the left toe stay on the ground, or maybe let it start to lift up. Now, maybe your left foot doesn't lift very high. Maybe it just hovers over the ground. Maybe that left foot can lift up really high. Doesn't really matter, but keep your torso level to the floor. Drop your left hip. Your belly button is pointing at your right big toe. Now, this is like Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. You can keep both hands on the chair. You might lift your right hand up, maybe bring it to your hip. Maybe with your left hand, you keep it there. Maybe you just have your left fingertips on the chair, or maybe just one finger, maybe none. But we're going to take 2 more breaths here in a balance pose. Push through the right heel, lengthen the spine, and then bring both hands back onto the chair. Inhale, exhale, let the left foot come down, and then you can stand all the way up. Give yourself some time. Wiggle, fidget, move, bop around. All right, and we've got to do the second side. So hold on to the chair, walk your feet back, drop your chest down. Again, this sort of down dog variation. Bring the feet together. Shift your weight into the left foot, keeping the right toes on the ground. Just slide the right foot back, keeping in contact with the ground for as long as you can. And then tips of the toes on the ground, and you could stay here. Maybe the tips of the toes just hover over the ground. Maybe you can really lift that right leg up. But again, that doesn't really matter. You're still balancing. There's still only one foot on the floor, right? You're still balancing in some capacity. Even if your toes are touching, it's still a balance pose. Now, you're going to reach through your right heel, push into the left heel, keep the torso level, drop the right hip. You could stay here, both hands on the chair. Maybe you release your left hand to the hip. Maybe with the right hand it stays, maybe hopefully not gripping the chair, but maybe it's still on the chair with all 5 fingers, or maybe just the fingertips, or maybe just one finger, maybe none. 2 more breaths here, balancing in some capacity. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3, and then both hands on the chair. Inhale, exhale, let the right foot come down. You can walk yourself all the way up. Take what you need, do what you like. All right. So now you're going to turn your chair a quarter turn to the right so that the seat is sort of facing the right and the back of your chair is in front of you and to your left. All right. We're going to walk the right foot back a little bit and turn the right toes out. So your right toes are pointing the same direction sort of the seat of the chair is. This left foot is going to come on the chair. So we did a version of crescent lunge. We did a version of Warrior 3, and that's where your hips are forward. That's more about getting the front of your body. This is like a version of Warrior 2. So we want the hips to sort of turn over to the right or towards like the long edge of your mat if you're using a mat, which maybe when I teach chair yoga, I don't usually use a mat because you're on the chair and whatever. But we want your hips and your belly button and your heart pointing the same direction as its back foot over to the right. But the left knee is going to come forward. Now, normally, you'll often hear teachers say, myself included, keep the knee over the ankle, don't let it go towards the toe. That's true when we're putting a lot of weight into that particular leg. Notice that most of your weight is in the back leg. So this front leg can move forward, and let's just sort of explore. So this is what I was talking about, sort of giving yourself some time to stretch in like a more gentle way, but it can be beneficial in a different way or just feel good in a different way. So just allow, maybe you come forward and back. Maybe you kind of straighten the leg and sort of move through there. Maybe let the knee go side to side. You'll often hear, even again, myself say, track the center of the kneecap over the center of the foot. Again, it's true when we're putting the weight into the leg. That's when we've got to really be careful. But most of your weight isn't in this leg. So let it move around. Do what feels good. Take about 3 more breaths here. Okay, so now let's meet back in this sort of modified warrior 2. All right, we're going to keep the left foot as it is. This right foot, we're going to pivot so that the toes are pointing towards the chair. So you're going to pivot your right foot, kind of heel toe, do how you got to do, so that all 10 toes are now pointing in the same direction. You're facing the chair. So now we're not going to focus so much on the inner thigh and inner hip. All right, but we're going to keep focusing on this left leg. Now from here, you can start to crawl the left foot forward, lengthening the leg, and then push through the heel, reach the toes up towards the sky. Resist the temptation to pop the right hip and let the left hip sag. Push the right heel down, keep the waistband of the pants level. Push through the left heel, left toes to the sky. Inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, start to fold forward. Think about pointing your belly button at your thighs, and then allow the ribs to come down and your chest, and maybe you bring your hands down onto the seat of the chair. Maybe you draw your chin to your chest and really take a forward fold. Maybe you add a little movement. Maybe it feels good to sort of roll out the ankle here, point right and left. But now think about opening the back of the leg. Let's take a couple more breaths here. One more breath. Okay, now if you lowered your hands down into the seat of the chair, bring your hand back onto the back of the chair. Okay, and then we're just gonna bend that knee, slide that heel in, and let it come all the way down. And then again, take whatever movement suits you best. Give yourself some time, just notice how you feel. All right, and now you're gonna flip your chair so it's doing the opposite of what it's doing. So turn it around, I guess, 180 degrees? All right, so now the back of the chair is in your front right side. You're gonna keep your right foot on the ground for a moment. Turn the left toes over to the left. I'm actually gonna turn around. Turn the left toes over to the left towards the long edge of your mat. Pick up your right foot, put it on the chair. We're starting in this sort of warrior 2 position. So left toes, left knee, hip bones, belly button, chest, all face the side as your right knee and your right toes point forward. Again, just like warrior 2. Now you're still pushing the left heel into the ground. Right heel is maybe pushing into the ground. It certainly has more weight than the toes. But then we can allow some movement. So maybe coming forward and back and just start to ease into it. Just because it's a modified version doesn't mean we can sort of go at things full force. And just allow your right hip, right inner thigh to open in ways that feel good, in ways that feel supported. So again, still strong through the heels. Keeping the chest lifted, shoulders relaxed, no matter what you're doing with your arms. I'm a big fan of hands at the hips, and then obviously we've got the chair here, so why not? But soften shoulders away from the ears. Maybe let the knee go side to side, bounce it around, do some circles, in and out. Just notice. Take about 3 more breaths here. All right, and then we'll meet back with that right knee bent more or less at a right angle. And then we're going to pivot the back foot. So kind of heel toe, or scoot it over, however you got to do, so that all 10 toes are pointing the same direction. All right, so left hand can be at the hip, left arm can do whatever. Weight is still predominantly in the left heel. You can wiggle left toes, but the right foot is going to crawl forward. And you might have to step towards or away from the chair, do what you need to, but pushing through the right heel, right toes to the sky. So push the left heel down, just like we have to in tree pose. We want to make sure that we're not just letting the hip sag, we're keeping it lifted. So push through the heel, lift the chest, soften shoulders. You could stay here or inhale. Exhale, fold forward, hinge at the hips, at the pelvis, tip your belly button towards your thighs. Then let your ribs fall, then your chest, then your chin. Maybe the hands come to the seat of the chair. Maybe you drop your chin to your chest. Maybe you keep the right leg long, or maybe you move it around. Maybe you move it at the ankle. Maybe you wiggle the toes. Maybe you move at the hip. But take a good, comfortable stretch in the back side of your body. Find something that feels accessible and comfortable. Take 2 more breaths here. Okay. And then return the leg back to the center. If your hands were down on the chair, bring your hand back to the back of the chair. Inhale, slowly rise. And then you can bend your right knee. And then allow that foot to come back down onto the ground. And then again, take something that feels good. Okay. All right, now we're going to take a seat in the chair. So you can set yourself up how you started at the beginning. Just sitting right in the chair. Okay, so after a lot of that movement, I like to do something with a little bit more stillness and, again, something just a little different, taking the opportunity to move in a different way. So let's stretch our eyes. And so this is a stretch that I've been really enjoying lately, but it takes a moment for me to explain it, because you can't watch me as you're doing it, because you're stretching your eyes. It's important where you're looking. So what you're going to do, don't do it just yet, but what you're going to do is you're going to reach your fingertips forward. One hand will stay there. The other one will go up at a diagonal, over to the side, down at a diagonal, and then that one will stay there, and then we'll repeat. So it's like you're making a 6-pointed star. You're not moving your head the way I'm doing right now. You're just going to move your eyes. So your head, your neck, all of this is going to stay still. You're just going to move your eyes. And this is about your peripheral vision. And so really think about letting the hand move all the way out as far as it can. And you know it where it's got to go back to. Okay. So try to set your legs up symmetrical. Lift the chest, relax the shoulders, lean back into the chair, use the chair, but still have a little lift in your chest. All right, reach two pointer fingers forward, let the shoulders relax. We're gonna keep the left arm where it's at. Right fingertip is gonna go up at a diagonal to the right. Now, head and neck stay still. You're just following with your eyes. Let it go up as high as it can, and then return it back. And then watch that right finger as it goes directly over to the right. So, and then like a horizontal line. And then bring it back and just watch it with just your eyes. Now go down at a diagonal. Watch it with just your eyes and then bring it back. Now keep the right arm where it's at. Left hand is going to go up at a diagonal. Let it go up and away. Head and neck stay still. Let it return. Directly at a horizontal line, directly over to the left. Watch it, watch it, watch it in your periphery and then bring it back. And then go down at a diagonal. We're going to do that one more time each side. You move at your own pace. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Soften even through the hands. You're not making a fist. You're just not using the other finger. So just soften the hands. Relax the muscles of your face. And again, this is about your peripheral vision. So let those fingers go out wide. And this is about strengthening your peripheral vision, but also reminding your nervous system that you have a working peripheral vision. A lot of times we have anxiety because our fight or flight is turned on because we sort of don't trust our surroundings. We're worried something is lurking over our shoulder and around the corner. So if we can remind our nervous system we've got a working peripheral vision, it will hopefully help. Okay, and then once you're done there, you can release the arms. Now the shoulders sometimes get sore after that. So maybe roll the shoulders a bit. Go in both directions. Okay. All right. Now we're going to let our eyes rest and come back to major muscle groups. So come a little bit away from the away from the back of the chair towards the edge of the chair. So your feet are flat on the ground. Keep the right leg where it's at. Bend your left knee. Bring your ankle to the top of the thigh. Let's take figure four. So figure four, which is a version of pigeon. Again, another pose that you can adapt in a lot of different ways. Here's one option. So keep this foot flexed so your ankle makes more or less a right angle. Sit up tall, soften the shoulders. Arms can go wherever you want. Just let them relax. You could stay here or inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, fold forward. Start at your belly. So point your belly button towards your thighs. Then let your ribs come down. Then your chest. Then your heart. Do what you want with the arms. Again, try to soften shoulders and relax the hands. Maybe you keep your neck in neutral and sort of look at your right toes, or maybe you drop the chin to the chest. But take a comfortable stretch here in this figure four version. Take 3 more breaths here. And then firmly push your right heel into the ground and inhale, slowly rise. Resist the temptation to push your hands into your legs. Use the weight of, or the strength of the leg, And then once you return your torso upright, you can release that leg, maybe move things around. And then set up for the second side. So left foot flat on the ground, right ankle to the top of that opposite thigh. Flex the foot, protect the knee, sit up tall, soften shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. So it starts way down low. Point your belly button at your thighs, drop your ribs, your chest, your heart. Maybe drop your chin to your chest. Do what feels good in the arms. Soften from shoulders down to fingertips. And just take some deep breaths, enjoying the stretch. Two more breaths. Push the left heel into the ground and inhale, rise. Slowly lifting the chest. You can release that leg. All right, we've got one more pose before Shavasana. And it's a seated forward fold. So sit all the way back in your chair. And you might keep your feet and your knees sort of closer together. You might take them wider, but we're just going to fold forward. The same thing you just did in your upper body just a moment ago. We're just going to do it with the legs sort of more in neutral. So just a seated forward fold. So sit all the way back. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward. So again, start down low. Point your belly button down, sort of like you're sticking your seat up and out. So your belly button down, your ribs down, your chest, your heart. And again, you can take a leg variation that feels good. But think about forward fold, where we just let gravity do the work. You're not reaching for the floor, you're just sort of falling towards the floor. And just let everything relax. Feel a gentle stretch. Three deep breaths here. And then keeping your upper body rounded like cat pose, keeping the chin heavy and down towards the chest. Start to slowly roll up. So let your ribs lift, your chest lift, your heart lift. Return the shoulders and then slowly the chin away from the chest. All right. Okay, we're going to come into Shavasana. So you're welcome to stay seated in the chair. You're welcome to come down onto the mat and take a traditional Shavasana. You're also welcome, since you've got the chair so handy, to take sort of a almost like a legs up the wall version, chair version, where instead of having the legs long, you could also flip your chair around and let your legs rest on the back of the chair, or have the seat of the chair forward towards you and let your heels rest on it. So you, like always, take the version that you like. take the Shavasana that feels best in your body, best in this moment. And again, like any other Shavasana, maybe you use props, but you're going to set yourself up in a way that is symmetrical, ideally, and somewhere where you can really rest. So wherever you're at, notice if there's anything you can do to make yourself even just 5% more comfortable. And then settle in. Slowly deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, create soft, subtle movements. Rock your head side to side. Run your thumbs over the rest of your fingers as you wiggle your toes. Roll wrists and ankles. Move arms and legs. Maybe you reach your arms overhead, stretching as if you just woke up. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, hug your knees into your chest. And if you're on your mat, slowly roll over onto either side. And take your time pushing yourself up to a seat. If you're seated in your chair or seated already, just find yourself in a comfortable seat. Take a moment here to thank yourself for making it to your mat today, and maybe reflect on the intention that you set for yourself. Now let's join the hands together in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra, cultivating the energy of the heart chakra. To seal our practice, we'll chant the sound of Om one time. Let's start by taking a deep and clearing breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale for Om. Ah. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease, and may you be guided by your inner light. Namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me, for potentially trying something new, for trying chair yoga. So I appreciate it and you and just all of it. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.